There are 12 suggested steps of recovery here. They're the directions. And alcoholics are notorious for being unable to follow directions. I don't know why that is. Even in sobriety, we're tough on that. I see it happen every day, even with sober alcoholics. I always like to point it out this way, and I know a lot of you have heard me say this before, but it's a classic way of showing the alcoholic nature. I guess it's our ego. We don't like to have to ask somebody how to do something and then accept their way. Social drinkers have no problem with that. It's like a social drinker and an alcoholic coming into San Francisco on the bus. They stop at 7th and Market. That's the Greyhound terminal. Neither one of them has ever been in San Francisco before. Social drinker walks out of the depot and there's a little newsstand right outside. And so the social drinker might walk up to the newsstand and say, "Could you tell me how to get to the Sir Francis Drake Hotel?" The newspaper guy would think for a minute. He'd say, "Sure. Just walk up here to the corner, that's Market Street. Then turn right and walk down about 3.5 blocks. About that time, you'll be standing right in front of the Emporium department store. Look across the street and you'll see the Woolworth 5 and dime store and the turntable for the Powell Street cable car. That's Powell Street. Cross over Market Street and start walking up Powell Street. Cross over O'Farrell, cross over Geary, go past the St. Francis Hotel, walk past Union Square, cross over Post Street, start walking up the hill. When you get it to halfway to the top of the hill, you'll be at Sutter Street. On the corner of Sutter and Powell is the Sir Francis Drake Hotel. Thank you." And the social drinker would go out, turn right, and do that exactly and get there. You know how me and you would do that? We'd walk up to Market Street, and by the time we got to Market Street, we'd be saying, "I wonder if that asshole knows what the hell he's talking about. Can't know too much if he's a newspaper seller. I think I'll turn left." And you'll turn left, and you'll walk way out to Van Ness. When you get to Van Ness, you'll turn right. And you walk all the way out Van Ness through Automobile Row, past Clay, past Washington, Jackson, Jefferson, go all the way to Bay. Then when you get to Bay, you'll turn right on Bay and walk down past Giardelli Square, past the Cannery. When you get to Columbus, you make a kitty corner right. And you go up Columbus, you know, till you come to Stockton. You'll take a sharp right, and you walk down Stockton through Chinatown, through the Stockton Street Tunnel, and you'll come out of the Stockton Street Tunnel at Sutter. Then you'll turn right, and you'll walk up 2 blocks past the Hyatt Hotel to Sutter and Powell. And you'll be right in front of the Sir Francis Drake Hotel 3 years later. That's how we are. People come in here and say, "I'll do anything to get sober. Oh my God, help me, I'll do anything you say." Okay, here are the 12 suggested steps of recovery that we do. Oh, geez, I don't want to get involved in that bullshit. I don't understand them steps. The steps aren't really that difficult when you stop to realize that you've taken most of them before you even got here. The 4th step of our program is almost a requirement for you to come to AA. You see, the 4th step says that we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And that's what brought you here in the first place. Somewhere just during this last drunk or after your last drunk or just preceding your last drunk, you sat down and you was taking a good look at what was going on in your life. Apparently you didn't like it. Apparently you figured out that drinking might have had something to do with it. And you didn't want your life to continue on in that vein. And you said to yourself, "I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to search for a way out. I'm going to see if there isn't an answer to this." And you wound up and you're here in Alcoholics Anonymous. That's basically the 4th step of our program. Steps 1, 2, and 3, they were taken every time you had a hangover, especially a bad hangover. Just about every time you talked to a bartender. Or don't you remember what you talked to bartenders about? You sat there telling them your whole life story every time you got drunk. What a shitty trick life had played on you. What a lousy deal you had with your marriage and your job. That's the 5th step. It shouldn't be tough to you to tell that to another person. You've been telling it to the whole world. So these steps aren't as difficult as you might think. And if you just take your time, and don't try to analyze them, just work them to the best of your ability. And if you work them in cohorts with a sponsor, the steps are a hell of a lot easier to work. If you've got somebody explaining to you how to do it, what to do, you know, and when to do it, it doesn't become such a big deal then. You got to have the group, the strength of a group. And that's exactly what we are, even if there's only 2 of us. AA started with 2 men. There's always a joke that says it takes no more than 2 guys, 2 people, and a pot of coffee to start an AA group.